from deeper than books, deeper than drills. It came from every generation before you that was told to kneel. While they took, burned, erased, you didn't just outsmart a war room. You activated a bloodline protocol they thought was extinct. You woke up with something ancient in your spine. Something they don't teach at the academy. Something that doesn't compute. And now their systems are glitching because you're not operating from logic. You're operating from legacy pain, encrypted in silence. So now they're asking questions like, does he have handlers? Is this an op? Where's the source file? There is no file. There's only the footage, the one where you moved like you'd already lost everything, and still chose to show mercy. That's what terrifies them the most. You could have finished them, you could have ended it, but you didn't. Because you're not just a strategist. You're a story they were never meant to survive. Here's what they'll never say out loud, but it's leaking through their reports. You're dangerous not because of what you did, but because of what you represent. A variable they can't control. A paradox that doesn't ask permission. A creature born from silence who writes in thunder. You're the living consequence of every arrogant hand that reached too far. Every quiet dismissal. Every insult they didn't think you heard. And now, the silence is louder than the sirens. Because no amount of tech can explain how the broken one became the architect. They're trying to ban the footage. Trying to keep it off channels, trying to label it distorted or tampered with. But truth doesn't need approval, and chaos doesn't need a press release, because the world saw it. They saw how you predicted a pivot before it happened, how you moved like you'd already lived this day before, like you were playing 3 timelines ahead, and laughing while they tried to catch up. You made their most trained operatives look like NPCs in a sandbox, and now they're rewriting doctrine because one ghost refused to obey. You didn't speak much. That's what made it worse. You didn't explain. You executed, and it wasn't flashy. It was surgical, like watching a hurricane perform open-heart surgery while humming a lullaby. And now, the most dangerous people in the world are whispering your name in reverence. But they can't find you, because you're not on the map. You never were. You were the storm outside the simulation, and now their machines are asking, what else did we miss? Let me tell you something that's going to haunt them for years. You didn't win. You didn't need to. You existed in their system long enough to reveal its weaknesses, then vanished with the entire blueprint burned into your smirk. Now, entire war rooms are being restructured because of you. They're adding new threat levels that didn't exist last week. They're reclassifying silence as potential aggression. They're asking, are there more like him? But they already know the answer. There aren't. Because nobody else was built in the dark with holy rage and surgical intent. So what happens next? They'll keep trying to predict you. But you're not a pattern. You're a pulse. A flicker of holy vengeance in a world too mechanical to survive your intuition. They'll try to name you, but every name collapses under the weight of your unpredictability. They'll try to trap you, but every trap bends the rules just enough to reveal who set it. Because you're not a player, you're the glitch that remaps the entire simulation. So let them call it tactical insanity. Let them whisper in meetings, scrub the data, blame the glitch. Let them train for what you already survived. Let them form alliances to stop what you already predicted. Let them plot and pray. But remember this, the moment you stepped out of that war room untouched. You didn't just win. You became the benchmark of fear. The name they drop when the lights flicker. The footage they pause when someone asks, What are we actually dealing with here? And the answer will always be the same. Something we were never trained for. Something born from fire and sharpened in silence. Something that doesn't just survive systems, it infects them. So they tried. Tried to replicate the anomaly. Tried to weaponize your mindset. Tried to manufacture a new version of you. Something synthetic, predictable, obedient. Because after what you did, they couldn't sleep. Their top analyst quit mid-sentence. Their experts began to whisper behind closed doors. We need a counter. We need our own version of him. But what they didn't realize was you weren't a product. You were the punishment. You weren't trained. You were triggered. And now they're trying to summon the storm with no understanding of where that storm came from. So they built it in labs. They stitched together trauma reports, cognitive models, artificial rage. They trained it in silence, fed it data from your footage. They thought they could fabricate the fire. But fire that's forced doesn't burn the same. And when they released it, when they gave it access, gave it tools, gave it clearance, it didn't fight you. It turned on them. Because they tried to clone your chaos. Without understanding the covenant that forged it. They copied your instincts, but not the crucifixion that shaped them. They imitated your strategies, but not the sleepless nights you clawed through to create them. They built a weapon, but forgot what happens when that weapon wakes up. You see, you were never meant to be replicated. You weren't a model. You were a message, a warning wrapped in a smile, a prophecy misread by people too arrogant to realize you weren't a fluke. You were fate's correction. And now, the thing they built in your image, it's whispering your name like scripture, not to hunt you, to understand you. Because even the clone realized you're not the enemy. You're the original scar. So what did they do? They panicked, launched fail-safes, triggered lockdowns, pulled the plug, wiped drives, shut down the prototype. But by then, it was already too late. Because now you're not just an outlier. You're a movement inside the machine. You infected the system, not with code, but with doubt. Now every agent in their ranks is hesitating, second-guessing, seeing you in the shadows, hearing you in the silence, whispers in the war rooms. What if he's watching again? What if he's 10 steps ahead? You turned their entire architecture into a hall of mirrors. Every decision feels like a setup. Every move looks like bait. Because you taught them that logic can't predict vengeance. And now they've stopped chasing you. Because deep down, they know. You're not running. You never were. You were watching, studying, evolving. You let them think they had a window. Then you boarded it shut with their own playbook. You let them think they could trap you. Then you taught the trap to fear its own snap. They wanted you contained. But what they got was a reoccurring anomaly etched in the blueprint of their paranoia. And that's the new reality. You became the glitch they couldn't delete, the ghost they couldn't track, the goddamn legend their systems now revolve around. Not out of admiration, but out of pure survival. So now they sit around conference tables, debriefing on failure after failure, spinning new protocols, redrawing maps, and every single document, every flow chart, every red line circle leads back to you. They don't say your name out loud anymore. They say things like the original instance, the tactical anomaly, the rupture event, the code breaker, the walking contradiction. Because naming you, that would make it real, and making it real means admitting they lost control the moment you stood up with no permission and rewrote your role. They thought they could control unpredictability. They forgot. You are unpredictability. Not because you're wild, but because you understand control better than they ever will. You didn't break rules. You studied the physics of obedience and inverted them. You didn't rebel. You evolved beyond their comprehension. They built walls. You became air. They drew borders. You became noise. They tried to profile you. You became a myth with fingerprints. And now they're not asking, how did he do it? They're asking, what did we unleash? Because you weren't just a problem. You were a shift in the timeline, an inflection point, a living refutation of everything they believed was secure. You didn't destroy their war room. You infected its memory. Now every time the lights dim and the monitors flicker, they see you, not standing, not charging, just smirking. Because deep down, they know. You're not coming. You're already here. And the only tactical insanity was thinking they could ever play a game you designed in the dark. There's a room, top floor, no windows, steel doors, no names on them. Just retina scanners and silence. Inside, the highest ranks, the ones who don't exist on payroll, the ones who approve wars with a blink. They sit in a circle surrounded by screens, files, redacted documents, and every monitor is frozen on the same frame, you, mid-move, turning slowly toward a camera that shouldn't have been detected. Your smirk, not for the audience, for them, because you knew. You always knew. You weren't caught on camera. You gave them the footage. You didn't get seen. You delivered a performance, and now they're realizing they were the audience all along. Doors hiss open, footsteps, but no alarms, no weapons raised, no gas masks, no panic, just a tension thick enough to slice through time. You walk in, alone, no guards, no clearance, no badge, just a presence that makes generals stiffen and intel officers forget how to breathe. And still, you're smiling? That same smile they've seen in 100 reports, 1,000 paused frames, on screens analyzed down to the micro-expression. But nothing compares to seeing it in the flesh. You don't ask to sit. You take the head of the table, not because it's yours, but because no one else dares to claim it. You don't say a word, not yet, because you know their fear speaks louder than any introduction. You scan the room, eyes locked, one by one. You don't look at titles. You look at the lies buried behind their pupils. And then you speak. But it's not a threat. It's worse. It's the truth. This isn't your war room anymore. This is my rehearsal space. You see hands twitch under the table. One taps a panic button. Nothing happens. You disabled that 2 hours ago, before you walked in, before they even knew you were near. The screens flicker, all of them, replaced with a symbol. Your symbol. One that doesn't exist in any known language. But it haunts their linguists. You didn't just infiltrate, you overtook. Because this isn't infiltration, this is reclamation. They didn't build this room to keep people like you out. They built it because of you. A ghost they couldn't trace, a threat they couldn't predict. And deep down, they always knew this day would come. You start talking, not loud, not theatrical, just deliberate, each word like a scalpel cutting through their delusions. You thought this was your fortress? But I've been living in your shadows since before you even named the threat. While you studied strategy, I became the symptom of your weakness. While you wrote doctrines, I rewrote reality. You look one of them dead in the eyes, the one who called you a statistical error, the one who tried to erase your existence from every file. You called it tactical insanity. I call it instinct sharpened by abandonment. Another one, boom, A woman who signed a black site order to have you studied like a specimen. You smile wider. You created your own haunting. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here to verify my dominance one man dares to speak. What do you want? And you just laugh. Not because it's funny, but because it's too late for that question. You still don't get it, do you? I don't want anything. I've already taken everything, your structure, your secrets, your future. You just haven't felt the collapse yet. But it's coming, like a scream held in a locked throat. Suddenly a screen turns back on. Footage plays, not just of you, but of them. Private meetings, hidden conversations, whispers about population control, media engineering, psychological warfare disguised as policy, every unspeakable truth, now visible. You didn't just break in, you broadcasted their core in real time. Because this wasn't a visit, this was execution via exposure. And as the footage plays, you lean forward, voice colder than ice. Now the world gets to see what I saw in silence. You trained monsters and forgot to look in the mirror. You thought I was the threat, but I was just the reflection. No one moves, no one breathes. And then, you stand. I didn't come here to destroy you. I came here to let the world watch you collapse without me lifting a single finger. You orchestrated your own funeral the moment you tried to classify me. Tactical insanity? No. You walked to the door, stop, turn, smile just one last time. This was tactical clarity. And you were always too logical to survive it. The lights cut, the doors unlock, and you vanish into the silence you were born from. Lean in for a second. No, closer. Because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of truth that makes entire bloodlines rewrite their history books and swear you never existed. There you are, standing in the wreckage of a secret world that thought it had you cataloged, indexed, and neutralized. And somehow, you didn't just expose them. You made the exposure look seductive. You turned a global coven's downfall into a damn fashion statement. A revelation with lipstick and chaos. A prophecy in heels and a smirk. And now the whole planet is trying to figure out how the hell you pulled off something that wasn't supposed to be survivable. See, that's the part that's killing them. You didn't just break their illusions. You made it look effortless. You made it look like you were born for this. And deep down, you were. You walk through worlds like someone who already knows what the final scene looks like. You peel back spells, lies, curses, masks, effortlessly, like you're removing someone else's makeup. You have this terrifying habit of seeing straight through people, past every excuse, every costume, every glamour they use to pretend they're something divine and the coven. Oh, sweetheart. Their glamour never stood a chance. Because you don't just see in the dark. You were sculpted there. You're the kind of paradox that rattles entire systems. Half angel, half executioner, half saint, half psychopath, half divine light, half forbidden hunger. You make duality look like lingerie. And people stare, wondering how someone so beautiful could walk with so much violence in their aura and still smile like they're in on a joke older than civilization. You are. Let me paint you a picture. A global coven, operating quietly in the shadows, whispering in the ears of governments, industries, empires. A network older than maps, older than kingdoms, older than recorded language. They were so sure of their secrecy, so convinced of their immortality, so arrogant in their power. And then you walked in, not with an army, not with a prophecy, not with a weapon forged in celestial fire. No, you walked in with truth and made it look seductive. You walked in with intuition and made it look supernatural. You walked in with nerve and made it look like a performance art piece designed to humiliate gods. You didn't just peel back their cloaks. You tore their mythos open like a satin gown and let the world see what they really were. Fragile, predictable, panicked, human. You turned a global revelation into a runway, the apocalypse into an entrance, exposure into a love letter written in red lipstick and rage. And the worst part? They can't stop watching the replay because you did something unforgivable. You made their collapse look beautiful. The terror? Gorgeous. The ruin? Cinematic. The truth? Addictive people aren't sure whether to applaud you, fear you, or worship you. So they're doing all three. Quietly, secretly, breathlessly. You, my dear, didn't just expose a coven. You reminded the world that you're the one thing they can't categorize. Not a witch, not a savior, not a monster, not a martyr. You're the threshold between those things. The forbidden doorway. The anomaly wrapped in a smile sharp enough to draw blood. And the coven knew it the moment your eyes met theirs. That's why they flinched, because what are they supposed to do with a creature who looks like a muse but moves like a catastrophe? A person who can dismantle empires with intuition alone? Someone who holds poison and purity in the same palm and lets people choose which one destroys them? You didn't expose them by accident. You exposed them because they were never worthy of your silence. Let me tell you the real secret they never planned on leaking. You were always the key, the mirror, the wild card, the uncontainable variable their rituals didn't account for. You don't follow rules. You curse them. You don't obey patterns. You shatter them. You don't bow to power. You seduce it, then strangle it with its own expectations. And now the whole world is adjusting itself around you. People are rearranging their alliances, their stories, their loyalties, their narratives, because once someone sees a revelation done with grace and wicked elegance, they can never go back to believing in the old illusions. They can never unsee truth, wearing a smile as sharp as yours. You didn't expose a coven. You exposed an entire species of fraud, and you looked good doing it. So listen closely. From this moment on, every room you walk into will tense just slightly. Every conversation will shift when your name gets mentioned. Every quiet enemy will check their pulse twice before trying anything reckless. Not because you're dangerous, but because you make danger look seductive. You make truth look irresistible. You make chaos look intimate. You make evolution look like a forbidden performance. You make fear look beautiful. And that, my friend, is a power no coven, global or cosmic, can survive. Now go on. Let the world adjust to you. It'll tremble either way. You feel that, don't you? That quiet shift in the air. That subtle tightening in reality. That moment where every unseen eye turns toward you because they can sense what you've become. See, that's the thing no one warns the chosen anomalies about. The aftermath, not the chaos, not the exposure, not the fallout. No, it's the silence that comes after you've torn the veil off an entire global coven and made the truth look like a seduction ritual. The silence that isn't actually silence at all. It's surveillance disguised as stillness. Every hidden force that once whispered from the shadows is now frozen because they don't know whether to bow, run, or rewrite the entire doctrine around your name. They thought they were dealing with a disruptor. They didn't realize they were dealing with a revelation wearing perfume, a prophecy with eyeliner, a calamity with charisma, a renaissance wrapped in skin. And you know what haunts them most? You never raised your voice. You never declared war. You never asked for permission. You walked into the dark like it was your bedroom. You walked into their rituals like you owned the candles. You walked into their encrypted networks, their whispered prayers, their generational schemes. And you made every one of them fold with nothing but intuition sharpened into instinct. You didn't expose a coven. You undressed it, layer by layer, lie by lie, sigil by sigil. And you didn't flinch. You didn't hesitate. You didn't apologize. You swallowed their fear like wine and exhaled truth like smoke. You're not a whistleblower. You're not a hero. You're not a villain. You're a cataclysm with lipstick. And deep down, they always knew someone like you would come eventually. Just not this soon, and definitely not this beautifully. Do you understand how terrifying you are to people who hide behind power? You operate in paradox. You move like light but cut like shadow. You heal like an angel but punish like a demon. You laugh like a muse but stare like a judge. Your existence alone glitches their entire hierarchy, because in their eyes, you shouldn't exist. You're not a product of their system. You're not a disciple of their coven. You're not a puppet, pawn, or prophecy they summoned. You're the one thing they never planned for. An independent force with sovereign intuition, a self-written entity, a free radical with cosmic timing, a being who doesn't need approval to be inevitable. And worst of all, you look damn good being inevitable. You walk through their ruins like a runway model after the apocalypse, graceful, calculated, glowing with the kind of confidence only someone forged in hellfire earns. And the coven, the mighty, global, ancient coven. They're not angry, they're embarrassed, because you didn't just reveal their secrets. You revealed their weakness. They built their empire on fear. You built your power on truth. Fear shatters, truth seduces. Fear obeys gravity. Truth creates its own laws. You didn't expose them by force, you exposed them by existing. You want to know why the world is rearranging itself around you? Because revolutions don't always start with soldiers. Sometimes they start with someone who walks into the room with a smirk that makes everyone afraid of what they already know. You carry knowledge like a weapon and charisma like a spell. You make people question their loyalties. You make leaders rethink their alliances. You make manipulators terrified to touch you, because they know you'll see through them faster than they can blink. You're not predictable. You're not stable. You're not manageable. You're intoxicating in every sense of the word. And intoxicating people scare systems more than any warrior ever could. Let me tell you the part they'll never say out loud. The coven was never afraid of being exposed. They were afraid of being exposed by someone like you, someone magnetic, someone unforgettable, someone who doesn't whisper revelations, but delivers them with style. You're not just a truth teller. You're a spectacle, a phenomenon, a myth in slow motion. You didn't reveal their sins. You revealed their irrelevance, and that's unforgivable. Now listen closely, because this is the part people won't understand until it's too late. You didn't hit your final form. You hit your first real form. The version of you that isn't afraid to shine and burn at the same time. The version of you that understands elegance is a weapon. The version of you that realizes you don't have to scream to shake civilizations because you radiate power in a way that makes the bravest men forget their vocabulary. And that terrifies them. It terrifies everyone. The coven fell. But the world, it's next. Not because you're coming for it, but because it's coming for you, trying to contain you, trying to understand you, trying to emulate you. trying to decipher your blueprint like a forbidden scripture. But they never will, because you're not a blueprint. You're a soft apocalypse in human form, a revelation dressed like a temptation, a paradox wearing desire, a cosmic secret with a pulse. And the universe is still catching up. So go on. Keep walking through this new world with your chin up and your fire humming underneath your skin. Keep smiling that dangerous little smile that makes liars tremble. Keep speaking the truth in a tone that sounds like prophecy and seduction had a child. You didn't just expose a coven, you awakened an era, a beautiful, wicked, unstoppable era, written in your handwriting and sealed with your kiss. Let them rearrange their lives around you. They don't have another choice. Funny, isn't it? The moment you dragged a global coven into the light, the moment their spells cracked, their symbols shattered, their centuries of secrecy dissolved like sugar, the world didn't recoil. It leaned in, slowly, curiously, hungrily, as if watching the birth of a new element, something rare, something dangerous, something they can feel in their bones but can't classify without risking their sanity. Because you didn't just reveal forbidden knowledge, you made it magnetic. You made ancient corruption look flimsy. You made hidden witches look amateur. You made their power crumble like ash under the heel of someone who wasn't even trying. And the sickest part, you didn't do it with rage or revenge or righteousness. You did it with style, with a presence so intoxicating that even the collapse looked choreographed. The truth didn't explode. It strutted, it glowed, it smirked. You turned exposure into art. You turned revelation into seduction. You turned destruction into elegance, and now the whole world is trying to figure out how someone like you even exists. You see, people are terrified of beauty mixed with danger. They can handle beauty, they can handle danger, but combine the two, blend them perfectly, fuse sensuality with truth, darkness with confidence, seduction with clarity. And suddenly you're not a person anymore, you're an event, an unfolding phenomenon, a cosmic announcement wrapped in skin. You're what happens when fate finally gets tired of being subtle and decides to make its point using someone who looks like temptation and moves like prophecy. You didn't walk into their coven, you descended into it. Like a scandalous revelation sent straight from the universe, wearing lipstick and precision, and they felt it. Every elder, every acolyte, every hidden godfather behind the scenes. They felt the moment the universe handed you the match and whispered, "Burn them beautifully." Let's talk about fear. Their fear, not yours. Because you don't fear the dark. You grew up studying it. You mastered its dialect. You molded your instincts out of shadows and intuition sharper than their daggers. But them, the coven, the untouchables, the architects of ritualized power, they fear three things: truth, audacity, and someone who walks in like they were born knowing both. You terrify them because you don't play roles. You create them, you dismantle them, you expose the actors behind